What if I told you the backstory for Tiana's Bayou adventure is all about socialism, maybe even communism? It's definitely about a commune, and it's definitely about an island that Tabasco owns. That's the inspiration. Wonder what Tabasco's thinking about this. Hey, Disney, take back your hot sauce. Folks, we've got a hot take, and we're going to show you what we mean when we say that the Bayou adventure is a socialist adventure. Hello, welcome back to the Pro Channel. We make some outlandish claims, and then we back them up again and again, folks. Disney Parks makes it so because they keep doing things that are insane, and then when we report on it, people go, no, there's no way! Then we show them the receipts and say, yep, it's Disney again. Dismal Disney, right? Well, today we're talking about Tiana's Bayou adventure. It's replacing the most attractive, most beloved attraction in the world, Splash Mountain. People loved it. That's according to polling, by the way. That's not us just saying it. And now, for whatever reason, they're turning a beloved log flume ride into a socialist utopia. We're not kidding. Get ready for the Critter Co-op.
What's the ride they're replacing it with?
Tiana's Bayou Adventure is what they're doing. It's a mountain now that's set in the bayou.
And you know, when I saw that, it looked to me like the ride at the top of Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, that would make more sense, and that's why it looks nothing like Louisiana, because Louisiana does not have mountains. Let me move you guys over here where we can see this better.
It does not have mountains.
Louisiana does not. There are none. There are zero. It's half the state's below the sea level. We're not even sure how it exists. Anyway.
Tiana's Pandering Pandemonium. I think that was the original name that they.
That's right.
That they cast out.
So these are images that Lorena Creole has sent our way. She was at Tiana's Bayou Adventure earlier, where they're getting the finishing touches on things. And what we have discovered here is that number one, we've already known that the backstory for this ride is bizarre. It's supposed to be that Tiana has now this food organization, but it's a socialist food organization, and she is a free.
What?
Yes, it's a co-op, and so the actual new little place for you to go is a co-op instead of a store, and so they have all these little references to different things. For example, here it says upcoming shows: Las Ranitas Verdes, which means the little green frogs, Rufus and the Terrapins, the Bayou Bobcats, Zydeco Rainbow, and it has a nice little rainbow flag kind of look there. But here's the name of the new store, Critter Co-op. And for those of you out there who are not familiar with co-ops and what exactly that is, take a look at this out of Monthly Review, an independent socialist magazine. We'll find out what is a co-op. This is by Peter Marcucci. Co-op cooperatives on the path to socialism. Clarifying what Karl Marx thought on the role of cooperatives is useful, not to receive the correct answer to what the role will be, but to help think through what alternative answers might be and how they might color today's expectations of the cooperative movement. If one sees a non-capitalist or socialist organization of society as ultimately desirable, then how should we answer the following questions in the present day? And this is an article about co-ops, and are worker co-ops immediate social welfare? Yes, worker co-ops are clearly superior to the conventional capital-owned and managed form of enterprise organization. So whether or not Disney and the Imagineers know what they're doing, and they do, by the way, but this is like the peak of hypocrisy. Disney is like the capitalist king of the world when it comes to entertainment, and here they are, doing these co-op ideas. That is so funny because what they have done, Paul, you probably don't know this. This is nuts. So the backstory for this ride is they took inspiration from Avery Island, which is down at the very bottom of Louisiana.
Now, are there raccoons?
There probably are. But in Avery Island is where they make Tabasco sauce.
Okay.
Seriously, okay? And Tabasco, the company, owns the whole island. But they used it as their source material because it's basically the only place in Louisiana that has any kind of altitude, right? It's like 200 feet tall, so that'll count. So they used Avery Island. Well, the funny thing is now that the whole story for this ride is that Tiana owns basically Tabasco back in the 1920s as a black woman, and you're going with her to find the ingredients for her special recipe or whatever. And she's a socialist woman, and she owns a co-op, and all of her employees are part of a socialist commune on Avery Island. It's the craziest thing ever for a log flume ride. For a ride where you're supposed to go down a 4-story drop, and that's the whole
very.
Here's
So
my
remember
thought.
the last
history of Avery Island, though.
Yeah, go Ron.
Remember the last one where the fox and the bear just wanted to eat the rabbit?
that was the complexity of the story. Yes,
That was the fun. That was all I had to do was think about that.
I'm all for, as someone who grew up on, PBS Kids with a lot of like educational programming stuff. I'm all for teaching stuff to the kids as opposed to just gnawing their brain on TikTok or something. So I'm all for teaching them stuff. But is anyone noticing how this might be very overwhelming? Like, you gotta teach a kid what a co-op is. You gotta teach them what the backstory of this ride is, what this island is.
Mommy, what's a coop? What's a coop, mommy?
The chickens.
Honey, it's a co-op. It's a co-op, sweetheart.
Ron might be able to answer this since he's over there a lot. Don't they have a co-op in the downtown Disney Springs? What do they call it?
Yeah. There's a section that you walk through in Disney Springs called a co-op. I'm not sure exactly how it operates. They're constantly like moving sections, like 6 sections of the store, and they can move things around. Because I remember going in there one time and like, where'd the marble stuff go? And they moved it over here. And then there's the orange bird stuff. I'm not sure exactly how it actually works, but they do call it a.
Ron, I got a feeling that this little souvenir shop that you get when you leave the ride, they want you to buy the tchotchkes. I get a feeling it's not an actual co-op. Something inside me tells me that Disney would not permit an actual co-op on their property, but it sure sounds good.
iPhone cases there, so stuff's falling out.
iPhone cases and ponchos made in China.
They're, in defense of co-ops, you're gonna cut me off already. I'll put my mustache back on.
Paul, I love opposing views.
So the thing is, co-ops have a long history, and especially in the farming community. And I've worked co-ops where, there isn't an infrastructure of stores or big chains and things like that. So the farmers get together and they pull their produce for local selling to each other at
for
a
those
co-op.
of you who speak real English, he said produce. Produce. You got it.
And people work voluntarily for each other, keep the cost down. They bring in some goods, and so it's a way to deal with things that a local community would normally not be able to access and be able to afford it. But it has a limited scalability. That's the issue, right? And but it's a good, fine idea under certain situations. But what Disney is probably going to do is make the visitors work for free there. That's the brilliant part of this deal. See?
Oh, this is what's beautiful about it, Paul. It's made in China in conditions that we would not agree with. It's shipped over here. Correct. And hopefully it doesn't knock into another bridge. But when it arrives, then it lands in the hands of a giant corporation run by a man hungry for more yachts, and it's put into a little grab you as you go, as you exit the attraction shop, and then the word co-op is put on there as a fun little nod to the socialist dream, but it's really not happening at all. It's a full-on charade, right? It's a total facade with nothing behind it other than it feels good.
Without people offering their own time, like at a kibbutz or something like that, it's not a co-op.
Right. So this is a co-op in marquee only.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a difficult one to explain.
And I've spent time on a kibbutz, so
I'm actually surrounded by co-ops where I'm at in Wisconsin. So yeah, this is not a real co-op. What Paul said is a real co-op.
Yeah,
and
it has a value to it.
And so many tourists aren't going to be able to, the kids aren't really going to be able to fully grasp what exactly it is. If only Disney had this whole park where you could see, different cultures and viewpoints from around the world, where this would fit so well. But instead, they're putting gimmicky IP Moana stuff in there instead. And instead, Magic Kingdom gets the experimental stuff. This makes no sense.
To be fair, Nolan, you could still go to the China Pavilion and get the Chinese government propaganda movie. When they come out, they're like,
That
Tiananmen Square, where nothing bad ever happened ever.
If the point of this store is for Disney to indicate that capitalism is bad, then if that's the point they're trying to make here, that's hilariously ironic.
Well, that's what I think, and it goes back to the same idea of WALL-E, which I think WALL-E is a fantastic movie. But you remember that WALL-E has this this store that becomes sort of this behemoth that destroys the world. Yeah, WALL-E has by and large,
right,
and it was funny coming from a company like Disney, but it's like, well, you guys are the ones selling the plushies and the action figures. We agree, or your artists understand what you are, but you might not. This is just funny to me because it seems to me that it's vapid virtue signaling. Disney is never going to run a co-op.
No,
Disney isn't a co-op, but they find it fun to make Tiana be part of a co-op, where she's running a co-op as a black woman in the 1920s in southern Louisiana, owning Tabasco Island. And that takes precedent. It's more important than the rest of the ride, because I don't know if you guys know this, but we've reported on it. Seems very, very likely that they're going to open this attraction unfinished. It's not even going to be finished.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, because they got to get it in on the summer so that they can get all of those Lightning Lane and Fast Pass and virtual
too dang
queue
hot,
dollars.
the visitors are going to have to finish it because it's a co-op.
Now I understand. Now I get it.
That makes sense.
I was so dense.
Disney, you're a genius.
That's right. Every guest have to spend a minimum of 3 hours per day while they're at the park at the co-op.
Just as Walt
right.
intended.
It's okay. You get in the park for free, so everything's fine.
And folks, we've come to the end yet again. Did you enjoy our panelists? It's not very often we have a puppet on, although Marvin, well, he might take umbrage with that. He's a monster, of course. Hope that didn't offend you to have a furry friend on. On occasion, we like to have some fun, have some zany guests on. And of course, Paul Chatto, well, he's maybe too much. I agree. Paul Chatto is too much. No. We love them all. Folks, we love having you here with us. Click like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Drop a comment down below. All of that helps us reach even more of our soon-to-be friends we have not yet met. Just like once upon a time, we didn't know you, and now look at us. We share time together, and it's an honor. It's why we do this, is because we think your time is valuable, and we are appreciative of getting to share it with you. Folks, hope we made your day better. We're going to keep at it, keep trying again and again. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.